17th here in Seoul. Hey everyone, it's Debbie from Korea Now with the headlines for today. As South Korea tries to revive the momentum for dialogue between the US and North Korea and improve inter-Korean relations, there seem to be some conflicting activities going on within the country. On Thursday, Seoul's Unification Ministry said it will inspect dozens of activist groups later this month to see if they had been involved in sending anti-Pyongyang leaflets across the border. The inspection is seen as the Seoul government's efforts to mend soured relations between the two Koreas. On the other hand, South Korean prosecutors have now begun an investigation into North Korean leader's younger sister Kim Yo-jong and the North's military chief Park Jong-cheon on charges of blowing up inter-Korean liaison office in Kaesong last month. It's an unprecedented and symbolic move to launch such a probe against two powerful figures of the regime. The Seoul prosecution plans to review the case before deciding whether to apply charges against Kim and Park. The governor of Gyeonggi province, Lee Jae-myung, will be keeping his post as the Supreme Court ruled on Thursday to send his case back to a lower court for reconsideration, saying he should not be found guilty of violating election law. The decision salvaged his current position as governor, as well as his future political fate as one of the ruling Democratic Party's potential candidates for the next presidency. Along with Lee, former Prime Minister Lee Nak-yeon is also considered a strong presidential candidate for the ruling party, and the race between them is already looking pretty close, especially with the recent death of Seoul Mayor Park Won-soon, who was also a potential candidate. According to a recent poll by Hangil Research, the former prime minister seemed to be the most likely presidential candidate for the ruling party with almost 29% of the votes. But Governor Lee came in very close with 20%, which has brought the gap down to the single digits. Korean zombie thriller Peninsula saw the highest opening day ticket sales of this year, with more than 350,000 people watching the film on the first day. Peninsula is the sequel to the popular Korean zombie film Train to Busan, and it tells the story of survivors on the zombie-infested Korean peninsula 4 years after the events that happened in the first film. It has the same director, Yeon Sang-ho, who said his latest movie portrays people who struggle to survive in a hopeless country where people lose their humanity and hope. Meanwhile, Peninsula was also released in Singapore and Taiwan on the same day as it did in South Korea, and has set the record for the best opening day sales for a Korean film in both countries. And those are your top stories for today. For full-length articles, you can check out our